Hello, and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3, playing as Japan on Super Large Plus Plus. This is episode 67. We made it to, let me check, 1935. It's peaceful again, and we're doing all sorts of fun peace stuff like designing new ships, refitting older ships, contemplating what to scrap, what to keep, that sort of thing. And of course, planning for world domination, but we always plan for world domination, so that's a given. It's been a few days since I had the time, or rather the inclination, to sit down and play Rule the Waves. I've been playing other stuff and doing other things this weekend, so. But I actually made the presentation the end of recording the previous episode, so it will be a hope I haven't forgotten anything important. But enough talky talk. Let's jump in and watch some PowerPoint talk. So here we are again. Rule the Waves, a PowerPoint presentation. 1935. How time flies. I must remember to zip the save file and upload it. I upload every 5 years. So we are obviously still at peace. So I found this to be so funny that I kept this formatting, wars, peace. You probably don't think it's as funny as I do, but yeah. So I have no alliances. Great Britain and France still allied. That's fine. They're both, no, they're not both democratic, because Great Britain is a true democracy, albeit an odd one. And these guys turned fascist. I think it's a bit of a shame that France don't have a proper fascist flag when they turn. Actually, France and Germany should be bestest friends. But they have a penalty in the game file, so even if they have the same government type, they are not really likely to love each other. So, there's no changes in governments, and I don't think I stole anything last year, so it's blank. Okay. I've stole that 76,500. I don't really think we need anything bigger than that, but ever the temptation to go the full 90 to build that one mega battleship. Oh, so tempting. Yeah. Everything else unchanged. Building is okay, unrest is okay, nothing. So we get another massive year. The second best year ever, and following upon last year. And I still have no idea why I would get an increase of nearly 5%. 5%? Can I even 2%? I can't calculate this. It was 48, 2000 of 48. That's 1/24th. 4%. Yeah. And that is huge. That is way beyond my wildest imagination. So I'm not sure why this happens. Budget dropped 1. So this is obviously erroneous. Why can't I? So we are down because the budget modifier is even 1 point of budget modifier is a wild swing. That's fine. Build and maintenance. Yeah. You may have noticed or not that I'm considering only air and ship maintenance as maintenance now, because research is going to be just a function of my total budget. It's going to be about 10% regardless. Same with extra training. There's nothing I can do. I can turn it off, but it's so minuscule that why. Intelligence, that is also more or less a given. So this happens whether it's war or peace or anything. So 8,000-9,000. Yes, it's a sum, but it's a flat sum. It's unlikely to go above close the window. My dear neighbors have little screaming children that are not always content, so to speak. So I'm counting naval aircraft and ship maintenance. Those are my two important factors. So as you can see, that's 20 to 40, so it should be 2 to 1, but I'm actually overspending quite a bit, almost 10,000, so it's more like 1.5 to 1, which is fine. I used to say 2 to 1 was acceptable during peacetime, but we have to accept that our fleet is much bigger now, so we have to dedicate a larger proportion to maintenance. But therein lies a little bit of a, well, what should I call it? A trick? No, not a trick. It's potential problem, because by having a larger fleet, we have higher maintenance during peacetime, but we've talked about this before. When you activate, if you activate everything, then you can't actually afford to keep it all active. And why are we then paying for ships that we cannot afford to actively use? We are just retaining them in mothball forever and ever, and they become more and more irrelevant, and we will, well, maybe we can even waste more money on modernizing them, but we still don't have the money to activate them. So this, to me, this 1.5 to 1 is a hint that we should look at some scrapping, actually. And we have talked a little bit about that before as well, that some of our older ships that will not make the cut for updating, they may have to go. Yeah. So I would say that our economy, if we discount the S-tier bullshit with A is the top, at least as long as there isn't a huge gap, I would say that the US and Japan are now alone in the top tier. And yeah, if you look at the budget, they are ahead of me, but it's the AI, so that's fine. But look at this. This is getting quite incredible. They are not very many percent ahead of me. This is less than 10%, so nothing. Not when I can build more efficiently, build better ships, not waste as much on, well, not on subs for the US, but aircraft. Look at this. Twice my aircraft, twice my airships. This is just money out the window. So, yeah. But at least not any subs. My fleet size, I put at B+, because in pure tonnage, I'm slightly behind both Germany and the US. But I would say that my fleet is more than competitive. But knowing Germany, they probably have pretty good ships, so it would be a hard fight. Fleet quality is, of course, yeah, it's not all my tonnage is as good, and you can even see that in terms of ship size, Germany has 18 to my 14, about 150 more, so 4 ships 150, so their average tonnage is about the same as mine. The US has twice the ships, battleships, twice the tonnage, so also comparable. I know that my best battleships are better than their best battleships, but that doesn't take away the fact that they are on par with me. If we ever look at battle cruisers, I am well on par with Germany, but they tend to be undergunned. But I'm definitely ahead of the US in that regard. CVs, you can also see that my CVs are definitely competitive. CVLs, that's just a waste of money, really. So for every CVL the AI has, the better for me. And this obsession with heavy cruisers. But of course, there is a cost benefit aspect here as well, because I can build a sort of a pocket battle cruiser with, say, 9, 15 quality 1 guns that could absolutely slaughter enemy CAs for about 5,500 per month, maybe. That would be an utter cruiser killer, but you can get more than 2 excellent heavy cruisers for the same price, and many light cruisers. And such cruiser killer battle cruisers wouldn't actually be all that effective against the line of battle, and I don't like my battle cruisers to not be effective against the line of battle, because how many times do they come up against battleships? Yeah, quite a few. But it's just to show that, having 4 heavy cruiser, it's not that big of a burden on your economy. So in that sense, it's fine. And from a role-playing perspective, it's also kind of fine. But you have to keep in mind that there is no naval treaty here. So why would we start building small, weak ships to be gobbled up by the big boys? That I don't understand that. So, but in terms of the game itself, it can be a bit problematic, because CAs occupy sort of an odd space in the battle generation system. They occupy pretty much the same space as a battle cruiser. That's quite unlike a light cruiser. The light cruiser has sort of a specific role that it can never... Nothing can sort of take its place. You can't sub in CAs for CLs during this period. You can CAs and ECs, so you can see the disparity here. Anyway, I have... Did I do that again? Give me a second. Yeah, and now we are back with the correct figures. So now you can see that I have 2 bees building, and I have another 2 plan, although that is relatively tentative. And these are my 26 nutters, so I'm staying in that range. And I'm already kind of regretting not pushing them up to at least 27, because I can see that I need to refit my 16 inchers, and I will easily reach 27 if I'm willing to swap their engine. So that possibly a little bit of a misplay on my part. Not a big one, and not to or from is not essential, but still a bit annoying. But 6 of these are not especially modern, and I have no plans for modernizing them. 4 are TPS 1 and weakly armored. 2 are TPS 2 but weakly armored. They are 14 inches with 10 guns, so they are not hopeless. I'm not saying they are not hopeless, but I'm just wondering, whenever we can afford to actually activate 16 battleships, no, I don't know. In terms of battle cruisers, we have lagged behind a little bit, I think. We haven't started anyone for a long while, and that needs to be rectified. I'm just struggling with deciding what to do. Should I go for cruiser killers? Should I go for an intermediate cruiser killers with 12-inch guns, and in the intermediate solution with 15 quality 1? Should I build more 16 inchers? Should I go bunkers and build 18-inch battle cruisers? I don't think so, but I could. So yeah, I have 4 full CVs, 2 more started, and 2 more, at least 2 more planned. Now I want to have a continuous build basically of 2 CVs. No CAs for the time being. Yeah, light cruisers I'm building. One is finished actually, so oops, should say 3, and that would give me 18 light cruisers, but of course 6 of those are old and should be scrapped. So basically, I have 6 battleships, 4 battle cruisers, and 6 light cruisers that, strictly speaking, should be scrapped. And the CLs can be scrapped eventually as well. I took a head count on destroyers, and I had miscounted because I had some 1100 tonners still in refit. So I have 12 2000 tonners, 43 1500 tonners, and 31 1100 tonners. I'm starting to regret refitting those 1100 tonners, but done is done. Subs 8. Airships and aircraft, fine. Yeah. So you can see there is a lot to do going forward. There is a lot of choices to be made that will have wide-ranging consequences. We cannot give up on the surface fleet just yet, but I have no intention of having 32 battleships. So a force of, if we scrap the 6 or keep them mothballed, but have 8 for 14-inch, 4 16-inch, 4 18-inch, then I would be very happy. And I will also be very happy to have 12 plus 4 battle cruisers building, more CVs building. Yeah. Next up is research. This was quite a good year. Had advances in many things. Took down hull a bit, took tactics up a bit because we are actually behind in tactics. So, but nothing big. Aircraft, you dive bomber. Still don't know if it's poor or good or whatever it is. We have a new medium bomber here from 1934. It's pretty good, I would say, but the important part is that it can carry a torpedo out to 333. So this can be a good sub for torpedo bombers that can't go so far from land bases, I mean. We have a float plane in requests. I think this is the last time we'll ever request a float plane. And a sort of vague priority list patrol boat, fighter, torpedo bomber. Because now this starts to really matter. Carriers are a thing, big carriers. Land-based air can be a threat. So we definitely need to stay on top of the air game now, and not just skip a few months and yeah, it will be fine. No. Now let's look at the summary. It's it would normally say 30 to 34, but this is from 30 to the very start of 35. It makes more sense this way, I think. Base resources have actually accelerated slightly, so we are gaining 17.8%. Yeah, we've had a few wars, the last one with Italy, but it's still unexpected. So using this is, and we have a budget model of 14 last time and also a 14 now. So possessions are also up. We took a lot in the Med and we took Eritrea. And yeah, so budget is of course similar to base resources because budget modifier is mostly the same. Big growth in fleet size. Yeah, tensions are low, no alliances. We are up to 8 wars. And I realized that we have now fought every single nation on the planet. Because the first one was Russia. Then we had... no, the first one was, of course, China, then Russia, then France. But then we got tangled up with Spain as well. And we've had Germany and Britain and Russia again. And yeah, Russia and the US. And the last one was Italy. So that's quite something. Well, the big change is, of course, the Mediterranean. It's now our lake. And the big question again is, why did resource gain surge so much for the last 2 years? Randomness events that I didn't notice? I'm quite unsure. I'm free any commitment. So yeah, you can see there are a few non-Japanese markers in the South Pacific and some in the Indian Ocean and some in the Med, but I think our axis of the rising sun are mostly complete about 10 to 15 years before I had not even intended to have such a big presence in the Med ever. I was thinking about, can we take Egypt and maintain it, but this is unprecedented. We have the third largest fleet, but not all of it is super good or modern. So, and aircraft will become more loyal. Yes, this is, I have the numbers here as well. It's just a duplicate of the, I should probably have talked more about the different nations here, but I already did it, so let's just skip forward. So my plans for 35 to 40. Iceland is going to be my floating aircraft carrier in the northern Atlantic. I also need to look at fortifications and air bases worldwide to make sure I have air bases where it matters and fortifications that are big enough. But I don't need super large fortifications where I won't get invaded or where a rebellion don't really matter. I need to update my BBBC component through new builds and updates. I need, I think, to build about, I say 6, but at least 4 to 6 by 1940. Concept for large CAs and or smaller BCs in the 12 to 15 range. I'm not saying I will necessarily build them, but I want to have a look at my options. We need modern light cruisers. Our current generation are just 31 knots. It's now possible to build them pretty good at 32, so we need to look at that. Need to consider again building EDs above 2,000 ton, or if I could take my current standard 2,000 tonners and trim them down to 1,800, save a lot of money, same combat potential. It's absolutely doable, so that's something to look into. I don't want to fight the war right away. My strategic position is good. My economy is good. Just want to expand and refit, and if things go the way I plan, around this year I'm ready for another big war, and ideally that would be against France and their ally Great Britain. So I could take North Africa and possibly Corsica, and if I crush them, take Ireland, because then I have a second floating aircraft, a second unsinkable aircraft carrier. Ireland is, of course, perfectly positioned for Bay of Biscay and the Channel approach, Western approach, whatever you call it, to Great Britain. And the game likes to throw battles in that sector, so it's absolutely a fantastic country to control. Alternatively, Germany can be interesting. I'm not against fighting any opponent, really, and eventually our plan beyond 1940 is to establish a presence in the Caribbean. But if no one gets, no, not Gibraltar, I mean Panama, it's going to be a little bit complicated because we could really use Panama. That would make things easier for us. Yeah, that's it. So let's jump in. Yes, so here we are again. It's January 1935. And I mean, mothball cost here is not too high. 10 ships. That's only 1,100. But active during wartime, that's 5,000-6,000, so not sustainable at all. And we have already decided that these are ships we are not going to actually keep in our inventory. So tensions fairly low and no plans for a war in the future. It's terribly tempting to say that this is the time to scrap them. And the same goes for these 6 light cruisers. This one is on foreign station, so we could replace it with another one. Take one of the Mediterranean ones and just put it on foreign station or one of the new ones. So that's not a problem. And we could even get rid of the light carriers. I know we only have 4 real carriers, but they are just annoying. Have a very poor place in the lineup, not the line of battle, but in the battle setup lineup thingy. Yeah, they don't have any planes or anything else, so that is definitely scrappable. We also have a bunch of older stuff here, minesweepers and the like, but these have very specific purposes, and even when they become old, yes, these ships are now, not these two, but these ships are now 20 years, and this is where the base upkeep cost start rising. From now on up till they are about 40 years, where I think it's double at 40. I think it is double. So you can imagine having a ship in 10, 15 years, and we would need to do that if we refit them. We can't use them as they are now, so we would have to refit them. It would have to be a deep refit, like we are doing with Nagatos. It would be a full rebuild. And then they would cost double. And I'm not talking about OTAG. I'm talking about the whole base upkeep. So if this is 1,000 in upkeep, this would be in 45. This would also be at least 1,000. It's a smaller, much less capable ship, but it's costing as much or more as a more modern battleship, just because it's so old and hard to keep going. This is, I think, a factor many ignore. At the same time, it's really sad because these are real ships and we've paid good money for them. And if we look at this, I do very rarely. A good looking ship. I don't want to see it sink. So there is that, but it is weak, and I don't think we ever will get any use of it. But if we scrap 6 battleships, then we have no battle line anymore. How does this compare to? There's something to be said for volume, so perhaps we need to just hold on to them for a while longer. We can, of course, have a look at the AI ships as well. But keep in mind one further thing. It's the AI likes to scrap things after 25-ish years. I don't think that's set in stone because you can see the Schwabens here. They are 1918. So if you add 20 to that, you are in 38. 43, so they will keep them around for a little bit longer, but you can see they have nothing. The oldest ship they have, 1915, so 20 years. Same with Great Britain, 20 years. 20 years, 2020. No, the US actually is, well, that's a sub. That doesn't count. This one is being rebuilt. Italy has one that's, yeah. So there is a little bit of leeway here, perhaps if you have a smaller economy or something. But overall, it scraps after about 20 years. Very few exceptions. We are the only ones who are clinging to the old stuff. On the other hand, that means that the AI has managed to build better and more modern ships than we have. Yeah. So I'm willing to possibly entertain the opportunity of rebuilding these guys. Don't think it's ideal, but it can definitely be done. And result can be, should be 4-inch. Can be pretty good, I suspect. Can never go faster than 23, so. So 420, so it could actually go directly for a diesel now. No. No, this is possible. I would need to reorganize some of the diesel. Yeah. But this was more of a concept study. It is not impossible to keep these guys around, but I honestly do not think these guys will ever see combat again. But if push came to shove, I think that you could do reasonably well, although they are a bit slow. And how do they compare to the enemy's battle cruisers? 28, 27. I mean, I was not being very positive about rebuilding these guys, but actually rebuilding them to a 30. It's absolutely doable. It would not be horrible. We could do the diesel conversion. No, we can actually do it straight to diesel, so that also would not be horrible. So it might be worth considering it has TPS2 and everything. So maybe we should just scrap these with TPS1 and the single batteries. Yes, let's start by scrapping these 4. And let's get rid of these and take it one step at a time. And this one is active already. I think I will put it on foreign station. And then suddenly I scrap these light cruisers as well. But I think perhaps so 20 years. Yeah, we're already past that. A bit, it's a hard decision to make. So hard decisions are best postponed for later. Isn't that right? Light cruiser division. Yeah, something like this was the idea, and then we can fill out others. We have how many other? We have Ita, Mata, and then we have 2 Sendais coming out later. Let's keep the Kita, Wata together, move up. Yeah, they will be slightly slowed down by that dude with no speed, but fine. Let's make this one active and this foreign station instead, because that fits better with the divisions. Okay. They are not very old, but 34. Well, okay, we can keep them around, but what's the point in keeping them around? Because I'm never going to use choices, people. So another tricky question is the Tosas. They are almost they are 12 years old, so they are gonna start losing speed soon. So yes, we could just give them a quick update, but then they would just start losing speed. But if I replace the machinery, they will definitely go for the diesels, and even if they go for the diesels, okay, this is actually a acceptable upgrade path for them. Tweak this a little bit. They can do 105. Or they can do oil turbine now. That's 27. Oh, yeah. So I need to decide about that. But we don't need to decide immediately because, yeah. Why are some of these destroyers active? It's not acceptable. Under rebuilds, speed, my big beautifuls that I kind of regret not having built to 27. It would have been, well, not easy, but definitely possible to do this instead. Oh, regret. So, no, but that's fine. Think I'm leaning forward 4 ships. 8. Okay, we'll see. Should I build more docks? No, I don't think I have need of that. 2 years left on the Iceland. I'm not gonna build any more after that. Checked all my holdings and they all have at least 1 fort, 3 forts for the things that matter, 5 forts for stuff like Iceland and Malta. That looked good. There is still some room for improving air bases, but fair enough. So I think we can turn. What's up now? Everything looks good here. Division, destroyer division, nothing important, so they can auto assign. Ignore. Heavy AA effectiveness, new scout plane. Oh, US. What's this? Yeah, this one can carry a torpedo. That is no longer relevant, so we are not aiming for that at all. This one has firepower. It has range. It has toughness. It's slightly slower, but that's not. So I think we will take this one, the Mitsubishi XS100. Save. And aircraft types. Naval patrol aircraft. It's not bad. Dive bomber, clueless, float plane scout, clueless, of course, medium bomber, that's fine. So let's do a naval patrol aircraft. Let's just do range, fine. 7 months, and then we can do a fighter. So illusions, that was very. What I'm doing here. Now that will be excessive. Because cannot sustain them anyway, so let's send 2 light cruisers. Let's. A very poor quality anyway. See if they can persuade the bad guys. Oh, we can do the Balkans now because we are in the Med. Well, there should be a diplomatic solution to this crisis. It will increase tension somewhat, budget. And yeah, we have more than enough prestige, so I think 1 hit is enough. Better damage control, better subs. Spain has again crushed the rebels. Tension, nothing to do with us. Yeah, it climbed up a bit. That's good. Probably gonna say that we are above base cap. Over base cap, because we are at 38 to 20, but that's fine. Nothing important. Okay, the Congo, it's not exactly an important ship, but still. Well, wasn't that a fun month? We have rebellion, we have all. Yes, we must beat the army. Beat 40 millimeter automatic cannon, that's AA, medium AA. Improved dive bombers are beyond our tech. Well, we must just suffer through this. Relevant here. Budget and tension, yes. Flight deck catapults, that's an important development. Really? We go up, but we also go down. Go straight into mothball. Now we must seriously consider what to do with these older battle cruisers, and we decided to save these guys. Oh, sign for replace machinery, and we wanted to try for the diesels. No. I can't decide. I absolutely cannot. And I will have 6. And then I have the 18. You know what? Let's save these guys as oil turbine, director, better looking turrets, guns, director, 4-inch, purpose, 50. That enough? Directors. Oops, quite as many. And yeah, works. Air mounts. Oh, this is fine. But we need to place the guns in a that's all well and good, but where do I put the final pair? Do we really need this many ships, boats? Hardly. Yay. About as good as it gets, I think. Looks like a thoroughly modern ship. And I don't care about not having quality 1 here, because that would cost a million billion game bucks. You have no idea how expensive upgrading guns is, so I wouldn't do that unless it was from like -1 to 1 quality, then you can consider it. Otherwise, just don't. Okay, I don't hate it. It's a bit old, so it will cost more to upkeep, but it's relatively cheap to rebuild, so let's go for it. And now you can see the torsas are starting to get old. Just lost a lot of speed there. But we'll manage. 1,000-ton destroyers, then we can put TPS on them and make them very expensive. With dive bombers, yeah. Trying to suppress that damn rebellion. Don't make me cry, game. Very rude. Okay. Battle reserve. Of average aggressive handler. Yeah, but he's a damage control expert, so that sounds good to me. Service, fine. Oh, how the time flies, and we are. It does end the force. Finally. Tried twice now. Strong navy, yes, will allow the industry. And those improved dive bombers. Ah, finally. Yeah, yellow. And now the trick is not to go into the orange or the red. But this is sign commander average. Right. Poor admin. I don't want to deal with that. Starting to look like something. Valley Forge. 10 16-inch guns. Yes, this is starting to be pretty tough. 40,000 tons, reasonably fast. Little bit weak on the turrets. Not bad. All the AI nation are so friendly, I become nauseated. Let's see. Cheating on budget, but only slightly. Cheating on budget slightly. So you can see that even when we are doing very well in terms of points here, we are way ahead of Germany, but they way ahead of Britain. Yet somehow they managed to keep pace with us. Yes, this is better. Unfortunately, it's good. That's good. But ranges are starting to improve tremendously. This one has a lot of firepower as well, and good toughness, and the speed is okay. So I think we'll take this one. Any objections? No? I suppose Liao Tung we can build fort 1 4 inch. But what about North Korea? What about Borneo? What about Java? What about Singapore? What about the Celebs and the Moluccas? Oh, this is a fun area, by the way. We are playing. I also play role-playing games sometimes, and Shadowrun, if you're familiar with that. I've been touring the Pacific actually, so I went to Borneo and Java and the Philippines. There was a plane crash actually, and to Manado actually, and plane crash was here. And they visited an archaeology that floated near Guadalcanal. Sorts of fun. But now they are in Egypt. But I digress. I digress. Yes. These are suffering horribly. My ships over base cap. I know. What's up now? Destroyers. I don't care about destroyers. No. Yinryu. Suryu. Itosa has finished working up. The government is concerned about tensions leading to war. What is your recommend? I wish they could fix that. I mean, the game has been out for a few years, so it should be possible. Budget and tension. Budget and tension the opposite way. Or we could try for an negotiating an agreement with someone. So this is, I think, only Italy is really possible, although having an alliance with Spain would be tremendously beneficial since they have bases in the North Pacific. And I don't really want even more tensions. I would like to have a more budget, but this is actually tempting. But I wonder if I will actually take a drop. No, they are so weak that we cannot ask them. We could ally with the communists. They also have bases in Northern Europe. Germany hates our guts. So. If we want peace, arm for war. 6-inch dual purpose is not happening. So, no, come on. I sent battleships and everything to bomb you. That didn't affect me much, but I got more monies. A lot more monies. So that's good. I also don't really want to mobilize this soon. My rebuilds are coming in. I have positive monies, so I think we can look at these guys. Open design for rebuild, replace. Easels. This is because it's very beneficial to have Z diesels because you will accelerate faster. So we talked about this briefly. It's either 32 oil turbine or 31. Huh? 8. Probably these guys. $600. That's hard to compensate for using. We can give it spacious, and then we actually And it's actually not so far away. 4, 10. That's more or less perfect, I would say. Absolutely perfect. It's not super important, but at least look somewhat logical, so that's fair enough. It's relatively expensive, I would say, but yeah. Tempting. Yeah, no longer in the positive territory here. Get this done. Fine. Yeah, of course. Every- Fine. Okay. They should probably have an air group, don't you think? Air groups. Few months left. What? Didn't I assign? Just a small fry. Okay, we are working on TPS 4. Logistic, probably good. Rebellion continues. Tired of you guys. Unrest is up to 1. Minor allies. Budget and tension. Tension. Prestige tension. I want budget, so go away. Ah! So, Was looking forward to a war with France and Britain. It's gonna be a rough one, but I think we can pull it off. Yeah. Great Britain, for some reason, manages to keep a pace. Funny that. Maybe they can be 27 knots by event. That would be very nice. But that is unlikely to happen. No, I have to wait. December. Helps cruiser range, that I remember. Radar and electronics. Wow. Have I forgotten to... We were absolutely not gonna forget this, but we forgot anyway. Rebellion continues. Care about. I should have some sort of cheat sheet. Now we lost 3-4 months aircraft development, but okay. Almost done. Close to done. Our building. So we have 6 battleships there. We have 6 battleships here. There's 12. It's 3 full divisions. That's as much as we can ever want. Are not combat capable. We updated 38,000 tonners. Yes. It's our next in line for updating. Oh, we have made it to January. Ha ha ha. That's brilliant. Let's save. And you know what this means? This means I have to go figure out how to create a new start of year review. And there is a lot to talk about. We aren't really building all that many new ships, but we've committed to an upgrade path here, and it's fine. While I upgrade my ships, TPS-4 is hopefully going to be unlocked. And I'm now also glad I didn't just kick out these guys, and yeah. I need something, although these guys yeah. Oh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. And that concludes episode 67. I felt that it was a very short episode, but it's an hour 10 minutes. So I guess I had a lot on my mind and a lot I wanted to share with you. So the big takeaway here is refitting is continuing apace. I'm almost done with not only 4 battleships, but 6 I changed my mind regarding the what are they called? The Yamatos or whatever. Yeah, Yamatos. So they also got the refit treatment. So yeah, I only scrapped 4 battleships. So we will have 12 battleships once the 18 inches clear, and that's only about a year away. So that's also very exciting. I ever so slightly started to refit battle cruisers, but they are very expensive to refit because of their engines. I mean, they're not heavier than the battleships, but those extra knots of speed Extremely expensive. But they are getting diesels, so they should accelerate and turn and accelerate very quickly indeed. And I found that more worthwhile than 32 knots. That would all oil. That would also require stripping out some secondaries. So I think we are in a pretty good place. But the main thing here is the much increased tension. Both Great Britain and France are in the yellow. 9 and 8 respectively, and we have German in a distant third at 7. And of course, Great Britain and France are allied, and since both are annoyed with me, if I get into war with one, the other one will more or less immediately declare war on me as well. But that's what I want, isn't it? Yeah. We also had that super annoying rebellion in the northern Pacific. We need to resolve that. Either it breaks away and whatever, or and goes back to the US, or we crush the rebellion. I can't hang. I've been there almost a year now with now 4 battleships. It's costing me a fucking fortune for nothing, and I'm losing crew quality, and it's a pretty miserable experience. But that's rule the waves. So. Anyway, that's all for this episode. So thanks for watching and see you again soon.